On today's episode, I found a little issue with the existing camber plate. Brown Santa showed up just in time, so we're going to do a little update, just in time for the holiday.
Hi guys, this is Tim with Role Model Media. Thanks for joining me today. As you can see, I'm doing a little bit of body work here. Got a new fender to replace the one that had the holes in it from the exhaust side exit for the big block. And I noticed the driver's tire was hanging down further than the passenger side. And I thought, boy, that's kind of weird. I just went through and put a new Camber in, new A-arms, reset everything up. That shouldn't be like that. What I ended up finding was right above the top of where the upper coil retainer is. It's this little threaded ring with like a spanner wrench piece on it. And that holds this uniball or unibearing in a adjustable strut control or strut mount. So as you can see, there's a ratchet strap holding it up right now. New parts will be here sometime in the next hour or so. I think what actually happened was when I had the fire a few years ago, I think it seized up the Teflon in here. Even with oil and in the vise, I can't even get this thing to move, and I know they're supposed to rotate and pivot. It's a little scary that happened. This might be something you want to check every once in a while. Maybe once every spring before you take the car out. Take that nut off, drop your strut down, and then just kind of wiggle that bearing. Make sure it's loose, lubricated if necessary. I have seen a few guys that have said to use like a graphite will get down in there and not tear up the Teflon. I don't believe you want to use any oil with that, but feel free to correct me and make any comments below. We'll definitely take that into consideration. So what I'm going to do is just kind of set up time lapse. You can see me work on getting the wheels off, getting the old caster mounts removed, get the new ones installed, get the wheels back on. So adding the strap will allow me to kind of control the rate of descent, so to speak. I'll get under here with a jack and lower it down a little bit further when it's time to take the strut mount out. But for now, I'm just going to spin the nut off the top, get it down. We'll also get the jam nuts at the bottom of the spring, get those loosened up, spiraled down. That will eliminate all the tension, make it a whole lot safer to do the rest of the installation. So one of the things I like to do, I know it's kind of hard to see in here, but I already did this on the other side. Since I already had ride height set, we'll run that lower jam nut all the way down, and then we'll take a measurement. Make a note, it'll make it a lot easier to go back together and be very close to the original ride height. All right, this one is exactly the same as the other one, 2 9/16. So that makes that easy to remember. Now you just spool the whole thing down, and that will completely eliminate the any tension you got on the top here. All right, now you can see at the top of the spring, you've got about 3 inches to play with. You can see how the whole thing's constructed here. You can see the very bottom of the unibearing, and you can see the threaded in ring as well. Sorry, I know the camera angle really stinks here. So what we'll do is go to the top side, take the nut off, then the top of this can get pushed down, and then we can swing the whole strut out, probably through the front area here, and swing it out. So we're ready to go for the new ones when they show up here in short order. Hate doing it that way. Put this back up in the air, drop that strut down, take a look at it from the bottom. What I want to do, I should probably turn the strut all the way down too. These are adjustable. There. Yeah, there we go. Slowly bring it down and swing it out of the way. Grab the camera a minute, show you what we got going on here. If I can hold it and show you. So, yep, this one too, it is pretty much completely locked up. So they definitely need annual maintenance every couple years, something like that. So you're gonna need 7/16 under here. Let's get these pulled out from the bottom, and I'll show you how the rest of it goes together when the new ones arrive. So this is how this thing goes together. Sorry, dropping stuff. This goes up under the strut. This goes over the strut. But what's going on in here is your unit bearing slips up into here. Got a little mushroomed up from banging around in there. I can't even get it all the way up in. Well, yep, if I push on it hard enough, I can get it all the way up to the top. Problem is with that thing being locked is it's turning the whole bearing in there, and it was kind of mushrooming out some of these threads. But more importantly, this captured threaded washer, you use a spanner wrench to tighten that down, and I can't get it in very far right now because of the threads being mashed up a little bit, but you get the idea. You probably use this piece, and yeah, it kind of worked to get it in there. But as you can see, it's got a thread up in there like a good heavy inch. So the bearing locked up, that started rotating this every time the car was suspension came unloaded and the wheel turned. It was probably working its way out a little bit at a time. So it's really important to keep that bearing free. All right, let's see what Team Z sent us. Instructions, invoice, all right, there we go. Yeah. Caster camber plates, 99 to 04. Basically, looks exactly like the other stuff we had, but as you can see, zip this off here a minute. That's how it's supposed to move. Nice and smooth and turn. And this is definitely an improved design because I don't know if you can see this in here, but that's why I had them zip tied. The bottom plate here, it's completely captured for that unit bearing. And then there is a snap ring, so you can pull it out from the top if you need to. So worst case scenario, your shock body or your upper shock collar is going to end up hitting on this plate instead of the whole works pulling out the bottom. So this is definitely a superior design. This looks like it has a little bit more adjustability than the other one did too for the camber. So we'll get these guys installed and I'll touch base with you. So I added one nut on here just to hold it while I get the rest of it lined up for the bolt, because everything has to line up correctly. The bolt through the spacer. Kind of feel what it's doing down here underneath on that main plate, and there we go. Alright, those are set. Grab the rest of the hardware, get that stuff started. Washer. Nut. Everything seems to be okay there. We're just going to leave everything kind of finger tight. Actually, these we're just going to move kind of to the middle for now, because I had it set about in the middle with the old one. Unit nut is nice and free. We'll zip these guys down. And now the other side. Alright. Our lower plate slipped up in here. Drop our spacers on. Put our plate on. We will get one nut and washer in one corner just to hold it. Sorry, I'm digging through my pocket here. There. Get our last spacer installed in this last hole. Get the bolt through it, and you can feel the nut underneath. Now into that hole. Make sure you don't cross thread it. There it goes. Yep, perfect. Grab our last couple washers and nuts, and everything can get zipped down temporarily. At the end, we'll go through and I'll end up taking it on to get an alignment. But for right now, this is a good starting point. Set it close to halfway. Unit bearings all nice and loose. These still need to be snugged down, but I'll let the alignment shop worry about that. I'll just give those a quick snug as long as everything looks okay. Don't forget to set your brakes when you're trying to manhandle this stuff. All right. That goes back on there. Then the short spacer. Now you can work your way, work the shaft back up. This is tricky. You can kind of see I got it started up in the hole. Now I just need to work this up in so that bushing seats in the center of that bearing. Once I get that in place, then we can put the top together and it should be all set, ready for the alignment shop. Then we'll switch over to the other side. All right, in the end I ended up tightening up the ratchet strap. That drew it right up. I've got my gap here at 2 9/16. It's about a thread higher, and it looks like we've got this thing fully seated in there. So we are ready to put the last spacer and the nut on top and zip it down. While we have the car up in the air, we'll get the other side installed and ready to go.
In the end, I ended up having to loosen the Allen keys for the camber adjustment. Worked like a champ. Things loosened right up, everything aligned, and I was able to snug it back down.
There we go. I didn't like the fact that when the nut was on, it was sitting right about here. The Loctite wasn't engaging the first couple threads, so ran these over to my buddy's place and turned them down the lathe. They should work pretty good now. Leave just enough of a stub there, that 2 to 3 threads. That's what I prefer to see. There we go, all set. Yeah, that's a lot better. A little clunking yet, that's from the steering linkages. Didn't get those as nice as I would have liked when I originally redid all the steering and the new Camber. But anyway, that's it. Pretty easy job. Like I said, if you just go through and put a little graphite lubrication on those unit bearings once a season, twice a season, you'll probably be fine. Probably never have to replace them like I did. I just didn't know. So right after COVID hit and everything started shutting down, Michigan was basically shut down. We hit Martin the weekend before Memorial Day. And then the weekend of Memorial Day, we went down to Indiana because that track was still open for the last time. There's one near Elkhart. Sorry, I don't remember the name of it because that was 4.5 years ago. I had a little electrical fire. Obviously, there was some damage to the body, to the hood. It was took out the whole wiring harness. Flames weren't too bad. The front shock behind this corner did survive. So it never even crossed my mind to look at the adjustable strut mount there. I knew there was a bearing in it. I didn't know they were Teflon lined. Never crossed my mind. So anyway, yeah, if you do have any type of fire in the front end or whatever, some form of excessive heat, make sure you take a minute and drop your strut down, check that out. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Feel free to comment, like, share, subscribe. Be greatly appreciated. And forget how to quit. Have a great day.